Esther. Recording in progress. We're finishing the book of Esther today. Let's see what happened. In yesterday's story, you remember that Esther invited King Xerxes, and Haman to the banquet, to the feast. And then she asked them to come again the following day. She said, please come again, and then I'll let you know what I want, my request. I'll tell you what my request is tomorrow if you come again. Let's see what's happening here. Queen Esther, the king has arrived, and Haman with his escort of the king's eunuchs. How do I look? Asks Esther. Entrancing, as always, my queen. My queen, a moment. I do not have a moment, Hathach. The king is here, says Esther. So it's the second day when the king has come, the second time. What was it, Hathach? Asks one of the servant ladies. Disturbing news. Haman has built a gallows 75 feet high, which he wishes to hang Mordecai upon. Oops. Sorry. I'm sorry. It happens. Haman has built a gallows 75 feet high, which he wishes to hang Mordecai upon first thing in the morning. Perhaps it is best she does not know yet. I think the motivation of rescuing her people is enough. Adding the personal threat against her cousin might just throw her off. Yes, so they decide not to tell her about Haman's gallows. Let's see what's happening next. So they're having the feast. I was speaking to my wife about the honor you have shown me, says Haman. Yes, says the king, I've been curious why you have chosen to so honor us, not just me, but us. The honor of your presence is mine, dear king, answers Esther. What is it you desire, Esther? Name it, it's yours, even half my kingdom, says the king. If I have found favor in your sight, great King Xerxes, I ask only one thing, my life. Your life? Yes, please spare my life and the lives of my people. What do you mean by this? Asks the king. What do you mean your life? I and my people have been sold, King Xerxes, our lives bought by silver. A price has been put on our heads and a death warrant has been signed. We are all sentenced to die, she says. Who would presume to do this to my queen and her people? Who is he? Where is he? Tell me, and he will be found and made accountable. Who is this guy who wants to kill you, queen? He is here. The enemy of my people shares this table with us. This man, Haman. Me? Look at Haman. He looks surprised. Maybe it's because he's wearing earrings. I'm not sure. I am a Jew, says Esther. My cousin is Mordecai, and Haman, out of hatred for my cousin and my people, caused you to sign the death of my people into law, says Esther. Haman, my most trusted man. Haman plots to kill my queen, her people? Do not let him leave. I need air. I must think. So the king goes out to think, about what to do. Poor Haman, look at his face. It is finished, says Esther. Mercy, mercy, how could I have known, says Haman. Now he's asking Esther to have mercy on him. I am undone. You have finished me, he says. You, Haman, have finished yourself. Did you think you could move against the people of the one true God? And he's so desperate, he's begging her and hanging onto her. And when the king comes back, he sees that Haman is kind of trying to, hang onto her. And he says, vile fiend. Fiend doesn't mean friend. It means a monster. Vile means evil. Evil monster. You'll assault the queen in my own presence, in my own palace. How dare you touch the queen? Milady, says one of the servants, Haman has built a gallows 75 feet tall at his very own house to hang Mordecai upon when morning comes. Mordecai, says Esther. Nay, nay means no. It is Haman who will hang upon that vile thing. Take him away. Please, great king, whose face shines like the sun, what about all those years I have served you? You only served one person, Haman, and that person was not me. It was you, Haman. Mordecai, who saved my life. Esther, my beloved queen, what is it I can give you? Name it, and it is yours. Even half your kingdom? Asks Esther. Half my kingdom, yes. My king, please, says Esther. My request is the same. The lives of my people. Rescind means take back. Cancel. Rescind the order Haman wrote and sealed with your signet ring. Esther, my queen, you know that cannot be done. I have given you Haman's house, which you wisely turned over to your cousin. I had Haman hanged upon the gallows he intended for your cousin, but I cannot revoke a law once I have approved it. Cannot take it back. Perhaps you cannot revoke a law, but what if a new law was written, one that would counteract the first? A law perhaps giving permission to our people to defend themselves? Ah, yes, says the king. Mordecai, I give you Haman's position in my court. Write as you desire concerning your people and seal it with my ring. As you know, a law sealed by my ring cannot be revoked. To give it added weight, allow your people to pillage those who would seek to pillage them. Such a proclamation will make any who seek to gain from killing us think twice, for they will be attacking people who have the favor of the king, says Esther. Yes, so now the new law says that Jewish people can defend themselves from the attacks, and also they can attack back and take all the belongings of people who wanted to attack them. I guess those who would want to attack Jewish people would reconsider doing that because it puts their whole families and all their belongings in danger, and they wouldn't risk it. And so that kind of law probably would make sure that Jewish people were not attacked, but stayed safe. Good cousin, I think perhaps you were placed in Xerxes' kingdom for such a time as this, says Esther to Mordecai. We shall make another proclamation for our people alone to celebrate all this is done. A reminder of God's deliverance? Yes, Hadassah. Yes, and Hadassah is Esther's Hebrew name, Jewish name. Esther is her Babylonian or Persian name. Surely your words were true, Mordecai. I was never alone, never alone. And this is the end of the book of Esther. Yes. Let's take a look at the lesson over here and read it. Atada, your hand is up. Would you like to read it today? The Esther's request part?
Yes, sir.
Right, let's read.
Yes, sir. Esther's request. Queen Esther had prepared the special banquet for Haman and the king. At the banquet, the king asked her, "Tell me what you want and you shall have it. All I ask is that I and my people may be allowed to live. Someone is planning to kill us. Who would dare do such a thing?" the king asked. "Our enemy and
Persecutor.
persecutor is this evil man," Esther replied, pointing to Haman. The king was furious and had Haman hanged that same day. Later, Esther went to speak to the king again and fell at his feet weeping. The king held out his golden staff to show that he was welcome in his presence. So Esther asked if there was a way to stop her people from being killed. But because of the country's law, the king could not change the order he had signed. Instead, the king gave Mordecai permission to do whatever he could to help the Jews defend themselves, which they did. In this way, Esther and Mordecai put a stop to the killing of God's people, and the king put Mordecai in charge of his whole kingdom.
That's right. The question, is, will God allow me into his presence? Does God allow us into his presence? That's a good question. Rayendra, will you read for us today? Mr. Rayendra Devras?
Excuse me, sir. My signal is not well. I can't
It's okay.
see the.
Uh, it's okay then, not today. We'll ask Asit. Asit's hand is up. He will read to us.
Okay. Will God allow me into his presence? Do you think that a mighty king will allow dirty, noisy kids to run into his throne room? The Lord does. He loves having children around him, and although we aren't in heaven yet, we can go boldly to God in prayer and talk to him about anything. The Lord is loving and merciful, and even though we don't deserve to come into his holy presence, he lets us come right up to his throne in heaven because Jesus has washed us clean.
And that's wonderful, isn't it? Let's read the verse for today together. Ready, go. Let us then approach the throne of grace with confidence so that we may receive mercy and
Oh, that
find grace to help
give
us
us
in time
And
of
grace
need.
to help
Hebrews
us in
4:16.
time of need.
Jesus was
Us in our time of
Help us in
need.
our time of Hebrews
Yeah,
4:16.
sorry. Yes, and that's wonderful. Jesus loves children, and he said so in the New Testament. Well, we're going to start New Testament in a couple of days. We only have one book in the Old Testament, the last book in the Old Testament left, and then we'll start the New Testament. Yes, in 2 days. So Monday, Tuesday, the last book of the Old Testament, and from Wednesday on, we're starting New Testament. We'll read all about Jesus and how he loves little children. He does love children. Also, he said that unless you become like a little child, unless you believe in God like a little child, you cannot enter the kingdom of God. That's what he said. We're all children of God, and he wants us to have this pure, kind of childish faith. Because adults sometimes overthink things, don't they? They overcomplicate things. He wants us to be, pure in our faith and not to complicate things too much. That's what he wants. That's what he said. Be like little children, he said. And that's why you are blessed more than adults. I'm kind of childish too sometimes. I guess I'm trying to stay like a child. Right? Sometimes. Yes. I'm not sure if it's foolishness. Maybe it is. Some people would say I'm foolish for that. But it's okay.
like when you're playing
Janine, do
that
what?
day. That day when you're playing rugby, you were so excited.
I know. Yeah, some people probably thought I was a crazy person, with shirt white. Those boys, Janindu, Lisaro, is Lisaro there? I mean, they pulled on my shirt. They almost took my shirt off of me. Those boys. Okay, anyway, we're not talking about me running around naked. We're talking about God loving children, right? I'm exaggerating. Calm down now. Your parents will think things and they will overcomplicate things. We do not need any of those things, right? Okay, let's pray before I say something foolish. Who's praying today?
So, is the recording going?
Yes, it's going. Do you want me to stop? I'll stop.